Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest update. We start with Eric Garcia. In a recent interview, he talks Xavi, Pep Guardiola, Ansu Fati, Inter Milan encounter, El Clasico. We are going to be discussing on what the centre back had to say as we progress. Then secondly, talking about this transfer report claiming that Barcelona's are setting their sights on this 21-year-old Argentine international by name Enzo Fernandez, who plays for Benfica. He's a midfielder. As of course, Barcelona are eyeing him as a possible Busquets replacement. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca, Barca, Barca. Speaking in an interview on eSport 3, Barcelona defender Eric Garcia has hailed manager Xavi Hernandez and likened him to former head coaches Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique. The 21-year-old, who is enjoying a solid start to the season, played under Guardiola at Manchester City before he joined Barca last summer. A few months after his arrival, Xavi took over as the manager from Ronald Koeman, and Garcia has compared his current head coach to Guardiola as well as the Spanish national team boss Luis Enrique, saying Xavi is a mixture of the two. He said, Xavi is a mixture of Guardiola and Luis Enrique. The idea of the game that the three have is identical. Each one has nuances, but it's all about pressing after losing the ball and ball output, he said. The Spanish defender Eric Garcia also spoke about his relationship with Ansu Fati, with the duo having spent time at La Masia before reuniting in the first team last year when Garcia returned to the club. He said, when he arrived at La Masia and his family was not there, he came to my house to spend the weekends. Now we spend the summers together and we trust each other a lot. Garcia also spoke about Barcelona's upcoming UEFA Champions League clash against Inter Milan, which is a must-win encounter for the team in order to stay with a chance of advancing in the tournament. And the defender insisted that playing at home will be an advantage for the club. He said, we know what we are playing for. Playing at home is an advantage for us. The fans will be key to this, like they have been all season. I hope we have a great night. Speaking of the performance in the win against Celta Vigo last week, Garcia said, the game in the second half could have been better, but in the end, in this kind of game, what counts is winning. Last year, when things weren't going well for us, it was these points that escaped us. This motivates us to head onto the game against Inter Milan tomorrow Wednesday. After the game against Inter, Barca will face off against arch rivals Real Madrid in the first El Clasico of the season. And Eric Garcia believes that if the team recovers their form from before the international break, they can beat the current champions. He said, we have to think about ourselves. Until the stoppage of selections, we were at a very high level of play and pressure. And I think that if we are at this level, any rival can come. And if you do things right, we are at a higher level, he said. Then on to the next story of discussion. According to a fresh report from Sport, Barcelona really like Benfica midfielder Enzo Fernandez as a possible heir to club captain Sergio Busquets. The 21-year-old has been on the radars of the Catalan Giants for a fair while now, with former technical secretary Ramon Planes considering the possibility of signing him before leaving the club last year. However, Barcelona did not have the money at the time, and the player, who was at River Plate at the time, was seen as a risky bet, which is why the Blaugrana did not make a move. This past summer, Enzo Fernandez joined Portuguese giants SL Benfica for a fee of 15 million euros and has performed well. In 16 matches so far, he has scored 3 goals and set up 2 more, despite operating as a deep midfielder. And as per the report, Barcelona admire the 21-year-old's game and view him as a possible replacement to Sergio Busquets. The club captain is in the final year of his contract at Spotify Camp Nou and is expected to leave as free agent at the end of the season unless something drastic happens. Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad was Xavi's priority target to replace his veteran star, but the 23-year-old is close to signing a new deal with La Real, who will make negotiations difficult over a transfer. Ruben Neves has since been identified as a top target for Barcelona for the position. But as per the report, some within the technical staff have doubt whether the Portuguese can perform in the role to the maximum efficiency. It has led to the interest of Enzo Fernandez, who has two caps for the Argentina national team. However, signing the 21-year-old will be a major hurdle as, he has a contract with Benfica that runs until 2027. At this moment, Neves seems to be Barcelona's best bet to replace Busquets, considering his age, experience, and contract status at Wolves. Barcelona have been trying so hard to ensure that when club captain Busquets departs as his contract comes to an end soon, they will have a suitable replacement for him, but that has not been easy. Of course, we have been talking about two players of Martin Zubimendi and Ruben Neves, who have been strongly linked for a long time as possible replacements when Busquets leaves the club, but those deals have not been easy. As of course, Zubimendi is likely to extend his contract with Real Sociedad, as the club captain himself have confirmed, and Ruben Neves also, there's doubt about him by some members in the Barcelona camp. So Barcelona continue to keep their options open and are showing strong interest in the player. And also they are opening their interest talking about another player who have just recently been linked by name Enzo Fernandez, who plays for Benfica, a DM as well. Barcelona see him as a good potential. He's still very young, and Barcelona want to, they are considering making a move for him in the summer, as a potential replacement for Sergio Busquets when he departs. Of course, this guy has a contract till 2027, so he will not be a free agent. Barca must spend if they want to bring him to the Camp Nou. Of course, let's see how it goes. Barcelona want to ensure that there is a suitable replacement for Busquets. Normally we have Frankie de Jong, we have some midfielders, Frank here, but Barca want a player who have that like-for-like style of Busquets, because players like Frankie de Jong, they are DM, yes, but they have their own ways, different styles, different, and they need a player who have that style. Players like Busquets are somehow unique in that role, and if they know that if they put someone like Frankie de Jong, it will be totally different. And Barca, who have always clinched to their philosophy, they want a similar profile to Busquets as his replacement when he departs the club. So let's see if Barca will succeed in this young lad, Enzo Fernandez, whose contract is still very long, and definitely he will not come as cheap, because he's growing into the game, he's getting experience, and he's doing well this season. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.